When a fire sprinkler system is installed in a building, it provides the greatest fire protection for occupants, contents, and the building itself. A building protection program that includes the inspection, testing, and maintenance of fire sprinkler systems is vital to keeping the system properly working. No matter the building type you own or manage, whether a multifamily residence, commercial building, industrial building, high-rise, or other type of building, fire sprinklers play an important role in its fire protection and safety. They control or extinguish a fire while it's still small, allowing occupants extra time at a passageway to safely escape. However, just like any other system in a building, a fire sprinkler system must be properly inspected, tested, and maintained, otherwise known as ITM, to ensure it works in the event of a fire. So where do you look for information? That's the purpose of NFPA 25. It is the national standard for the inspection, testing, and maintenance of water-based fire protection systems. Compliance with the standard maintains system integrity and avoids failures, ensuring a reasonable degree of protection for life and property. As a building owner or manager, the bulk of your responsibilities are listed within Chapter 4.1 of NFPA 25. Just as you would refer to your car owner's manual for car maintenance, you refer to Chapter 4.1 for fire sprinkler system ITM. Chapter 4.1 states that you, the building owner or manager, are responsible for the ITM of your building's water-based fire protection systems. If you are not the occupant of the building, you may choose a designated representative in the building for the management of ITM. He or she will be held to the same requirements as the building owner or manager. Here are your responsibilities or those of the designated representative. Of greatest importance, you may only hire qualified personnel for ITM activities. In Illinois, the law requires you hire an individual or company that has NICET Level 2 certification and/or has completed a certified sprinkler fitter apprenticeship program. Be sure to coordinate with that person to minimize any water damage caused by the discharge of water during ITM activities. Any piping filled with water must be maintained at a minimum temperature of 40 degrees Fahrenheit to ensure freeze protection, unless an approved antifreeze solution is utilized. If the components of your fire sprinkler system are all contained in heated spaces, freeze protection is likely not as much of a concern. However, if you have areas in your building that are exposed to temperatures below 40 degrees, insulating coverings, frost-proof casings, listed heat tracing systems, or other reliable means may be used. They must maintain temperatures between 40 and 120 degrees. ITM must be performed on those alternative means of freeze protection. You will want to make sure all components of your fire sprinkler system are easily accessible at all times, so be sure there are no impediments or obstacles that prevent you or qualified personnel from conducting ITM activities. If for some reason you must test or shut down the system or its supply, you must first notify the authority having jurisdiction, the fire department, and the alarm receiving facility. Provide them with the purpose for the shutdown or test, the components involved, the estimated time at which it will be fixed, and the expected duration. When the system, supply, or component is returned to service or the test is completed, be sure to notify those same parties again. If your ITM activities identify a deficiency or impairment, you may only hire a qualified contractor to perform corrections and repairs. Again, that person must have NICET Level 2 certification and/or have completed a certified sprinkler fitter apprenticeship program. Do you have planned changes within your building? If those include changes in occupancy, the use or process, or materials used or stored in the building, it's important to evaluate the fire protection system and determine if it has the capability to properly protect the new occupancy, use, or materials. If there are to be changes in the occupancy, hazard, water supply, storage commodity, storage arrangement, building modification, or other condition that affects the installation criteria of the system, you should promptly take steps to evaluate the adequacy of the system to ensure the building or hazard in question is protected. If you find the system is inadequate, you must make the required corrections and have them approved by the authority having jurisdiction. Be sure to identify the location of shutoff valves at the system riser or other approved locations. At the system riser, you should place a permanently marked metal or rigid plastic information sign if it supplies an antifreeze loop, dry system, pre-action system, or auxiliary control valve. Each sign must be secured with a corrosion-resistant wire, chain, or other approved means. and must indicate at least the following information. 1. The location of the area served by the system. 2. The location of auxiliary drains and low-point drains for dry pipe and pre-action systems. 3. The presence and location of antifreeze or other auxiliary systems. And 4. The presence and locations of heat tape. In addition, if antifreeze is used, place an antifreeze information sign on the antifreeze system main valve. The sign should indicate the manufacturer type and brand of the antifreeze solution used, the concentration by volume, and the volume of antifreeze used in the system. You, as the building owner or manager or the designated representative, must assign an impairment coordinator to meet compliance or designate yourself if no one is available. If an impairment to a water-based fire protection system arises, the impairment coordinator must use a tag that indicates what system or part of the system has been removed from service. It should be placed at each fire department connection and the system control valve and other locations required by the authority having jurisdiction. The impairment coordinator must authorize all pre-planned impairments and first verify that the following procedures have been implemented before corrections or repairs begin. 1. The extent and expected duration of the impairment have been determined. 2. The areas or buildings involved have been inspected and the increased risks determined. 3. Recommendations to mitigate any increased risks have been submitted to building owner or manager or designated representative. 4. If the system has been out of service for more than 10 hours in a 24-hour period, one of the following has been implemented: evacuation of the building or affected portion, an approved fire watch, a temporary water supply, to eliminate potential ignition sources and limit the amount of fuel available for a fire. 5. The following groups and people have been notified: fire department, insurance carrier, alarm company, building owner, manager or designated representative, other authorities having jurisdiction, and supervisors in the areas to be affected. 6. The tag impairment system has been implemented. And 7. All necessary tools and materials have been assembled on the impairment site. Emergency impairments include, but are not limited to, interruption of water supply, frozen or ruptured piping, and equipment failure, as well as impairments found during ITM activities. When all impaired equipment is restored to normal working order, the impairment coordinator must verify that all inspections and tests have been conducted to ensure affected systems are operational. All those who are alerted that the system was impaired must be notified that it has been restored and the impairment tag has been removed. You, as the building owner or manager, are responsible for maintaining all records for ITM of your system, so it can be made available to your local authority having jurisdiction upon request. Your record should indicate the following: procedures or activities performed, the organization that performed the activity, the required frequency of the activity, the results and date of the activity, and the name and contact information of the qualified contractor or owner, including the lead person for the activity. Be sure to retain the as-built system installation drawings, hydraulic calculations, original acceptance test records, and device manufacturer's data sheets for the entire life of the system. Subsequent records must be retained for a period of 1 year after the next inspection, test, or maintenance of that type required by NFPA 25. In addition to the life and property benefits of a properly inspected, tested, and maintained fire sprinkler system, you can also benefit from insurance savings. However, when you don't perform ITM of your fire sprinkler system for a number of years, you can lose those insurance savings and put your occupants at risk of a fire. By properly following ITM procedures, you are ensuring a reasonable degree of protection for the people in the building and the property itself. When it comes to ITM, it doesn't have to be difficult. If you as a building owner or manager follow the NFPA 25 procedures outlined in this video, your knowledgeable NICET Level 2 certified fire sprinkler contractor and/or certified sprinkler fitter will ensure your building complies with the remainder of the standard and Illinois State Code. Please visit firesprinklertesting.org for more information.